Hey everybody, it's me, Hero TJ.
And Amiibo Jason here. And welcome to another episode of Smash Switch Speculation. On today's episode, we're talking about one of the biggest franchises in Nintendo history. That's right, The Legend of Zelda. For the past 30 years, The Legend of Zelda has meant a whole lot to myself and TJ. This game came out the year I was born, and it's one of the most iconic games in video game history. And it has been a huge part of Super Smash Bros. Even since the very beginning.
Link has appeared in Smash's three separate characters, including Toon Link and Young Link, the latter whom we discussed in our Veterans Restoration Speculation episode. But for the purposes of streamlining this discussion, we won't venture too far into speculation on Toon Link, Young Link, or introducing new characters to represent Zelda in Smash, so we can focus specifically on the Link from the Smash Switch teaser trailer.
It's easy to see that the Link shown in the recent trailer for Smash Switch is none other than Link from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It can be argued that Link saw one of his most radical changes in Breath of the Wild with a huge selection of weapons, clothing, and abilities to use throughout his adventure. But what could this mean for Smash? Are we about to see the most aggressive change to Link in Smash history? Before we take a look at that, let's take a look back at Link's history in Super Smash Bros. TJ?
The Legend of Zelda is far and away my favorite game series, and I consider myself very blessed to have been born at a time when I could grow up with Link from the original 8-bit title on the Nintendo Entertainment System to the most recent installment in the series, Breath of the Wild, the first Zelda title to grace the Nintendo Switch. Link has appeared in every version of Smash since the beginning, first sporting his adult Ocarina of Time ensemble on the 64, and again in the GameCube follow-up Melee. Link upgraded to his Twilight Princess appearance for Brawl and never looked back. We already have confirmation from the Smash Switch trailer that at least from an aesthetic standpoint, Link will likely don the Champion's tunic from Breath of the Wild. But what other ways might his character be reimagined? The way I see it, there are three potentialities. One option is Breath of the Wild Link replaces the previous Link with new or updated moves and altered playstyle, taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild. Another possibility is his Champion tunic model is simply an alternate skin, similar to what we saw in Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Or a third option, Link as he appeared in Smash for Wii U and 3DS remains unchanged, and Breath of the Wild Link joins the battle alongside his more classic counterpart. I'm personally more inclined to believe that Link will be a redesign of the Wii U version that will feel familiar, as well as incorporating updates ranging from the aesthetic to varied movesets that fold in elements introduced in Breath of the Wild, such as the Sheikah Slate, runes, and the Champion abilities.
Now me, personally, I think it's about time that Link gets an overhaul. No need for a new Link to join the battle, but instead combine all of the best features from Link from every Legend of Zelda game. Breath of the Wild really opens the doors for new and innovative playstyles. I mean, in my perfect world, Link would still be rocking his sword and shield, but throw in remote bombs, a time-freezing mechanic, and even his ice blocks, and Link could feel like a whole new fighter. Don't get me wrong, I love how Link plays in Smash 4. In fact, he was my main for a pretty long time too. However, I would like to see Nintendo shake things up a bit in this installment. Just like my hopes and dreams for Mario and Cappy that we touched on in last episode, mixing up the formula could really make for some fun and innovative battles when Smash Bros. Hits the Nintendo Switch later this year.
As for Link's special moves, the bow and arrow plays such a significant role in Breath of the Wild that I don't see it going anywhere. Though, what if there was some way to expand Link's arsenal with elemental arrows that include fire, ice, shock, or even ancient arrows perhaps? They might fire in a specific order, like plucking Pikmin, or they could fire randomly, like Mr. Game & Watch's Judge Special. It's easy to imagine remote bombs replacing his bombs of a more traditional variety, and instead of being on a timer or exploding on impact, are detonated by a second button input. In my opinion, the boomerang is the weakest of Link's special moves in Smash, and feels largely redundant with his other two projectiles, and as boomerangs don't play a prominent role in Breath of the Wild, I think it could be effectively eliminated and replaced with Link's Stasis rune. He could render an opponent immobilized for a short period, similar to Bayonetta's Witch Time or when a character is frozen by an item. The other two core runes, Magnesis and Cryonis require specific circumstances to be effective. Magnesis can grab and manipulate metal objects, and Cryonis can form pillars of ice out of water. And I struggle to see how they can be practically employed in Smash without ignoring those limiting factors, as not every character wears metal, and not every stage contains water. I've heard some people suggest replacing Link's Claw Shot with Magnesis, as the Claw Shot and its more common relative, the Hook Shot, don't even appear in Breath of the Wild. I find that idea very attractive from a visual standpoint, but strange to see how it can be justified since Magnesis supposedly only works on metal. And again with Cryonis, unless Link supplies his own water source or we suspend our disbelief, I'm not sure what impact this rune can have on Smash Switch Link. While I don't expect to see any moves related to the Amiibo rune, Master Cycle Zero, or Sheikah Slate camera, a photo selfie taunt could crush it in the charm category.
Now, in addition to the runes, Breath of the Wild also includes the ability to swap weapons from a wide variety of different options. Like Shulk's Monado, it would be a pretty cool idea to give Link the capability to swap out weapons on the fly. From the Traveler's Sword to the Savage Lionel Crusher, swapping out weapons on the fly would really add a brand new layer of strategy to Link's character. However, I'm a realist and I know that swapping weapons might be a bit much to ask for, and Smash Bros. Already offers a huge selection of weapons to choose from in the form of item drops, so personally, I would be fine to let Link keep his beloved Master Sword this time around. I mean, it is a classic. However, one thing I expect to see in Smash 5 is a huge selection of new Zelda-inspired items. Could you imagine Kirby running around the battlefield with the Sword of the Six Sages? Now that's enough to even make Ganondorf nervous.
In addition to the abilities granted Link by the Sheikah Slate runes, when Link restores a Divine Beast in Breath of the Wild, he's rewarded with a significant technique from one of the 4 champions. Mipha's Grace automatically revives Link after he loses all his hearts, giving him a second chance and restoring him to full health and some change. While such a play mechanic seems ill-suited to Smash, I suppose a move could be devised where Mipha regenerates some of Link's health, but I actually think the best implementation of Mipha might simply be as Link's respawn animation after a fall. The other 3 champions imbue Link with skills very much like moves that are already in Smash. Urbosa's Fury is a lightning strike, similar to Pikachu's Thunder Shock. Daruk's Protection acts as a counter, like so many fighters in Smash have already. Finally, Revali's Gale grants the ability to generate a spontaneous gust of wind, and when combined with Link's Paraglider, could certainly make for some epic recoveries. The biggest challenge of updating Link's moves to reflect his Breath of the Wild style is that there are actually too many awesome moves to choose from. Between the 4 core runes, the 4 champion abilities, not to mention all Link's standard sword and shield fare, I think it would prove difficult to cram everything in. That said, my personal hope is that the champion abilities aren't significantly assigned to Smash Switch Link for the very simple fact that I'm still holding out hope that the champions might at some point be added as playable characters, and I'd prefer their moves to be preserved for the original owners. But that's just me.
I couldn't agree more. As I've said in the past episodes, I really want to see less of Link and more of other deserving Zelda series characters. The champions, Skull Kid, and heck, even Tingle would be awesome to fight as. And if Hyrule Warriors Legends has taught me anything, it's that all Zelda characters have a little bit of fight in them. As TJ mentioned before, the champions are just a culmination of so many amazing powers and techniques, so having the ability to control one or all of them on the Smash battlefield fills my heart with joy. And speaking of the champions, I think I have a pretty cool idea for Link's final smash. When Link gets the Smash Ball, he summons the might of the 4 Divine Beasts and sends a devastating laser blast, hurling at all of the competitors unlucky enough to get in its way. So if the champions aren't playable, this would at least give them a little bit of recognition, and that's okay by me.
One of the many things I really appreciated about Breath of the Wild, and this goes for Mario Odyssey too I suppose, is all the different gear I could outfit my hero in. Instead of having palette swaps for Link, where he's garbed in different colored tunics, I would love to see more of the cool costumes from Breath of the Wild make an appearance. His champion tunic might be a given, but let's have his Tunic of the Wild and Hylian tunic sets as well. And if we can't have a Fierce Deity final smash, then give me the design from Breath of the Wild obtained by the Majora's Mask amiibo. Totally my favorite look in the game, by the way. Tell the truth! What you really want is to run around in body-hugging Tingle tights!
Hey man, don't knock the Tingle tights. Believe it or not, they are more comfortable than they look. So now we want to ask you, what do you think about The Legend of Zelda and Super Smash Bros.? Is there too much representation from the Zelda franchise already? Do you want to see even more representation in the form of even more characters? Let us know what you think in the comments down below.
Last time we called for your comments on Cappy's inclusion as part of Mario's Smash Switch arsenal, and here's what you had to say. JB Saber wrote, maybe Cappy could work as a sort of tether grab. The animation could show Mario capturing a fighter, and his pummel could just be his opponent with Cappy on their head taking damage. Grab release would be Mario's animation exiting the fighter. And as for wishful thinking, since this kind of tether grab wouldn't work on ledges, maybe pressing the grab button mid-air could be Mario's animation throwing Cappy, automatically diving for him, and then jumping off him. It's not grabbing a ledge, but it still has the same recovery principle, I think. I totally feel you, JB. In fact, a bunch of you players out there suggested Cappy could be incorporated as Mario's grab, and I for one am all about that idea. I think a long-range grab would do our plumber pal some good. I really enjoyed reading all your comments and ideas. I want to thank you for taking the time to share, and I look forward to seeing what you have to say about Smash Switch Link. We'll see you next time. Thanks for playing.
See you guys soon.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ooh, congratulations, you've unlocked the secret question. Anyone who knows me knows that my love for Zelda runs deep. And in my 30 years of playing Legend of Zelda games, none of them have hit me harder or captivated me longer than Breath of the Wild. So I want to know, what game or series has that effect on you? See you in the comments.